that is opened up, but yeah, this whole scheduling thing takes up a lot of energy. Yeah,
Yeah, I
but
totally agree.
that's cool. So today it seems we have a small group, you and I, which
Yeah,
is
like
actually great because
yeah,
then we
we
get
can.
to hack on the notion.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
What do you say?
Yeah, it will be amazing. So we can like
Perfect. Hmm.
create maybe start to create proposal like actionables.
Hmm. And I looked into it and I saw that weekend didn't happen, and I had an idea how we might make it easier to make things happen. The problem or not the issue is getting started is always it's just a too big of a chunk to bite off,
Yeah.
and the thing is even breaking it down into tasks can be daunting. Right?
Okay.
So one idea I had, and just share it with you, and then I'm really curious what you're thinking.
Sure.
So um, so we're starting off with this crypto economics foundations paper. Why? Because it was really helpful to many of us, and it was by Zargam and Sherman. I think Sherman, you know, the doctors. Sherman is his first author or something. Sherman and Zargam. And I don't know if you have seen it.
Yeah, I read it was
Economic.
amazing paper actually.
Yeah, you did, no? But I realized that there are some people, maybe not in our group, but maybe even in our group, that have not yet read the paper. But for example, are actually asking, "Hey, where is the flower from?"
Yeah.
Which is great. We have a meme, right? But I think maybe we should really start with taking this paper apart and through this, taking it apart and putting together, we could also start basically this whole curation process. It's this whole paper is made up of actually pulling together what um, previous research and academic branches have looked into the same topics and set of problems um, that we are looking into with crypto economic systems, and then basically saying, well, no surprise, it's a system, it's a complex system. Beyond that, it's a social system, and beyond that, we don't just have a social network where we share likes and so on. We really want to share value that we co-create, and we take basically crypto economics or crypto economic systems and starting off from Bitcoin. Um, then this whole interdisciplinarity, as I said, for example, where do you come from,
More of like political science governance.
right? Uh, the
Yeah.
interesting thing is many people in token engineering commons come from political science, uh, psychology, decision science, philosophy, even ethics.
Yeah, like
And
I'm doing minor
interestingly,
in economics. So,
say again.
I'm also like have some interest on economics. Like I'm doing minor now.
Hmm. Yeah,
Yeah, but mostly social sciences.
exactly. And there's basically humanities and engineering tab. And uh, I started, for example, with economics, right? And at the university, I basically did a double major computer science and economics, and later basically I dropped after getting into computing. In programming, I minored in economics. I came back to Germany, and so on. And basically, uh, and everything I learned at Siemens. Literally, not at the university, but from fellow engineers in um, power system, building automation, and so on and so forth. And basically went into interest-wise machine learning, knowledge management, and a little bit of operations research. So these are the two sides, right? And for example, can you say who or what publication really got you into it, or where did you have the first aha moment?
I can give like vividly remember two examples. One was Vitalik's article. It was on, I think it was on governance. Like I forgot the name of the paper,
Mhm.
but it was, I mean, I was there. And the second one was from Curve Labs, like Pat.
Yeah.
He was talking about rescuing import substitution through like tokens, which I'm like very interested with political science. So it was amazing. Like
Mhm.
those two papers, like
Yeah.
give me the pill, let's say.
Exactly. And everyone has such a story. Interestingly, mine was very, very late. And literally, where I say I'm fully bought in is this paper. Because before that, it was too, in my view, it was quite simplistic. Like just uh, plug in computer science and some game theory or crypto and game theory. That was the understanding before, and it was always something like something is missing, because of all of these rabbit hole dives. Like you discover so many complexities that is not just economics and not just distributed systems and not even just money and so on. So basically, what we could do, and that would be the proposal, that we really plug this flower into its petals, and basically each one of us, um, I mean, definitely Durgadas and Manu were also interested, but it was this whole coordination problem. Moloch, I guess it's really
Yeah.
hard to break things down, and but if we can manage to break it down into something that has rhythm, that we can use as a start, I believe that could work. And basically, my proposal would be, let's plug this apart and let's have get-togethers like this book reading, um, like the book clubs, but more like the other way around. That we pick up one domain.
Yeah, like
We
I
pick, for
agree.
example,
I think
huh?
we should also, yeah, I totally agree. We should also like utilize asynchronous work. Like,
Mm,
so I think maybe if we can, like, I think as far as I see in the space, people will pursue the work if they see the product will be done. Like,
yeah.
yeah, so maybe we can create like tasks with you now, like
Hmm.
what we need. Then then we will share it publicly and we will say, oh, if you like you can assign it yourself.
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I think, so let's think about tasks we need, and or how to like manage it as well, like how to recreate or reshape the library if we like. And
Hmm.
I'm not very sure about like proposal mechanism of TEC. How can we approach after that point? Like,
Yeah. So that's the next thing. Mm,
yeah, like
one
after we
second.
write the proposal, like, So we will have some funding, right?
Yeah. So I'm basically, that's actually pretty straightforward. And I think this group is producing already quite a uh, main pillars from, what it is that we say it's about, ethical conduct, token engineering, inclusivity, etc. And I think that's basically pretty straightforward. And we have like every other group, and that also needs an update.
Mhm.
Working group, working group. Oh my god.
Omega, I saw.
Here we go. So what we need to do is basically, is this edited? Yeah. So what we need to do is two more. Basically, this is the anchor, but it was since the beginning, or since we did this. Okay, what is it that this is about? And we came up with these two initiatives. Um, to learn about the transdisciplinarity in token engineering, that became this library, T Consilience library, where we jumped the transdisciplinary knowledge together. And the other one is going to be T ethics. For example, what we can or what we should do, we should create then two posts. And in those posts, basically, I think it's even, we have even a template here. When you go into proposals, there is a template. Basically,
Hello, Durgadas.
Hey, sorry, I'm
hi.
calling you on my phone because I'm volunteering today at the vaccine clinic, so I won't be able to be around for
Okay.
much. So I just thought I'd drop in and say hi.
Hi. No worries. We decided to make this a hack session
Okay, cool.
since we're a small group and actually want to get things off the ground. So basically, what we can do is script, for example, reward system. Is this a new one? I don't know. Maybe.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Manu and I are working offline on some detailed things about making some of this stuff, quantitative, um, and getting deep into some of the basic principles and coming up with graphics and whatnot for really deep dive into this, but trying to make it quantitative as well. So, we're both kind of working separately on those things. So,
Into what?
just, we just taken some of the stuff that we've already brought and some of the stuff that was already on the agenda,
Mhm.
for, and just trying to, if we're going to talk to people about it, we'd like to just be clear on what we're talking about. So
Yeah.
it's
Okay.
just, so he and I are kind of asynchronously hacking in between Omega meetings too. So just hacking
Okay.
there.
Okay. And you basically share what it is.
Yeah, we're just the point was really that it just felt like it's better to sync in the Omega groups and then maybe sort of hack separately.
Mhm.
So
Okay.
so we're kind of doing that. Plus, we're just doing a deep dive on some of these things, and it didn't feel like a good use of Omega's time. So.
Okay. Okay. Cool. So, hi. Yes. Mhm. It would be great, actually.
Yeah, it will be very
I
good.
mean, the least thing we can do is do it in the next meeting.
I think that would be really premature for what we're doing, but you know, I hear you. Whatever we got, I think we could go. But yeah,
So at the very least, I guess, Septimus, it's about really getting everyone who is active in tech actually go through one of those param parties, right? And maybe gain insights how one can replicate that within the token, within the working groups.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
Okay, then
yeah,
we definitely
we're
put it
talking
on.
about making
Yeah,
those brands
like we
right
can
now.
talk
That's
about
kind of
those
what we're doing.
reputation things and like bounties.
But the param party or the parameterization of the bonding curve doesn't yet have any augmentation of proposal in there, or does it already have it? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. Let's do that definitely. Yeah, that's important. Mm-hmm. And actually, just one more question. Actually, I had also mentioned it with another Discord, Invisible Economy, Data Discord, and they would be interested on hosting one as well. Would it? Mhm. You know what? Let's do it the other way around. I invite them to our Param party next week. It's better. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. Thank you.
Okay.
Cool. I was thinking the tech recording is Discord board, but apparently it has Zeptimus assistant still.
Yeah, I
It
thought
was
it
good
was
to
both.
hear Zepti. So
Yeah.
okay,
So
so
Okay. So
basically
now
before
suddenly
we
I
even
feel like
go,
I've got a deadline on the work that we're doing when we were trying to just kind of have an open-ended thing so we could come up with what we needed. But now I'm just like, hey, come up with some params, and I'm like, yeah, we're trying to do that, but now we've
do
got a
you think
deadline.
that's do you think that's the goal? I mean, if have you ever attended any parameter sessions or anything?
Oh yeah, well, I don't know what an omega param party would look like. Is that very different, or are we talking about two different things? Maybe I've misunderstood.
So I think what Septi wants is that everyone who is active actually goes through the process of looking what are the parameters of a bonding curve, of the
Oh
token
right,
entering
right,
commons
right,
bonding
right,
curve,
right.
and so on. And
I
maybe it
see.
gives us ideas on how to, whether this is something or whether that's too full. I think it will be much more complex than what we would need to just distribute the budget to the contributors, facilitators.
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is always good that everyone involved goes through, and
Mm-hmm.
and Dada had approached me, or we were discussing this parameterization of bonding curves with Dada anyway, so we can put
Yeah.
together and have one. Gather some ideas, but don't feel pushed towards coming up with quick parameters. I think
Mm-hmm.
the first thing we really need to do is breaking these initiatives down into what are the people, what we
Mm-hmm.
need, what needs to be
exactly.
done.
Yeah.
Who are those people who are doing? You basically have already detailed, through these sessions that we need, etc. Who are the ones who are the ones going to be facilitating what it is that is going to come out of it. That's pretty much settled. We need to do the same thing for this work or for the library here as well.
Yeah. Well, and part of the effort for me was that I became aware after last week's meeting that what was happening was that you kept sort of making the same request of me over and over, and I was like, okay, I think I just need to stop delaying taking all this stuff into all these different contexts and actually make it have some parameters of its own, something actionable, something quantifiable. And so that's kind of where Manu and I have kind of gone to. So last week's sessions for us was just thinking up to say, what are some basic principles we're going to try to follow in terms of our inquiry? But the goal is basically what you've been asking me for all along, is how do you take all these different things that you're all the time talking about and turning it into some kind of actionable data. So that's kind of our focus, and I didn't want to, so I was just aware that I just keep showing up and saying, what about this and what about that? And I'm gonna stop doing that now and try to make it more connectable.
Well, all okay. I think in any case, it's really good that everyone gets into those reflection mode. What am I bringing in? What do I need to actually provide? And then also, what am I hoping that this outcome will bring to the community?
Yeah.
Why are we doing what we're doing? At the end, from the TE ethics, it will be a short overview of what are the ethical principles, right? We worked out through months almost, and we have according sessions, most of them by you, but many facilitators and people who want to co-facilitate from this group of those sessions. So we have the principles and we have how do we, in practice, how can we be helpful as a group to token engineers who are in those situations. So I think that's pretty clear, but again, it's great that everyone goes and says, okay, what is the sensible approach that we can take that works for individuals, and then proposing it to the group, and maybe riffing off and coming up with something that works for all participants or all active participants who want to provide would be fantastic, right? And if you say, okay, there are 3 different or 2 different options and want to just try it out, again, we have these 2 initiatives that could be also incentivized differently. So I'm
I'm also
happy
thinking
that
about gravity, because we're doing the DAO thing, it'd be good to quantify what it is that we're doing. So, it's pretty interesting and comprehensive work what we're doing. So I just wanted to kind of report that we'd done a sync session and we have a basic principles thing that we're going to talk about, how we're going to proceed, and then we're going to try to work through all the different layers over the next month or so, and then try to come up with something that hopefully you'll be happy with in the end. And I'm volunteering today, so I have a little time, but I've got to go probably now. So
no worries. Thank you for updating.
Yeah,
thank you.
no
Thank
problem.
you, Kudadas. Nice to hear from you.
Good to hear you. Talk soon.
Okay, so transdisciplinary.
Sorry. So let's talk about tasks we need.
I know, but before that, I'd like to have an overarching. do you know what I mean? Like, what is the fields that we operate on?
Oh, sure.
So just very briefly, or basically, we need to create a space, right? Meetings or get-togethers that are somehow structured so that people can come in. They see who is the curator, what have they been promoting, or one person really taking one such petal and saying, I'm going to host basically a session where it's about the relation or the background of political science and crypto economics and I'm going to invite the people. I'm going to make a list that will be the curation, basically, right? But then also I'm going to invite people who I know, for example, inviting Pat is not a problem at all, right? And I'm sure he'd love to join. And then basically in that session already talking about a specific one or relating it to the others, because what is the importance or what is the difference of this consilience library? It's really about jumping the knowledge together. It's saying, okay,
Exactly.
how do all of these disparate things motivate or let this cryptoeconomic systems emerge, which we try to uh, not control, but try to handle the complexity of it more consciously, which we call token engineering. And in token engineering commons, how do we see this, right? And then basically, and through that, there would be promotional material, right? There will be community engagement. There will be people who actually are shaping that they come in and also see what is token engineering commons and working group Omega, in specifically this consilience initiative is about. Maybe they get excited and want to be active, want to share more, have ideas of how to take it further or into their DAOs and libraries, what have you. So in a sense, mm, yeah, I'm trying to come up with something that is fluid, that has that is a simple process, but basically generates the content, the creation, the community, the promotional material, and
Yeah.
that I
So
would like to break down into tasks.
I was thinking that, and we
Okay.
talked. So we will first have like seed creators, which you, I think your lead will be very valuable, like because you know more people in space and you can invite
Mm-hmm,
like best minds who can like create very good multidisciplinary creation. So we will have seed curators, but in the manifesto and like how to contribute part, we will say it's a seed part. This will be an open source library. If you like to contribute, go to tasks, for example.
mm-hmm,
So in task, we can make some of the task public. Now, now it will be like limited to TC members for now,
mm-hmm,
so that we can create the library. After that,
mm-hmm,
let's say we have like clear library structure. So and we decided seed like term is 1 month. So in a month we
mm-hmm,
did like, promotion of this library. People read those like good minds we choose, etc. Then we
mm-hmm,
open the seeds and people start to contribute through their own contribution, like own creation. So as we
mm-hmm,
told, if we adopt like reputation points, so after people like, so we should have like reputation point parameters like metrics. So how do we allocate them? It's like tokenomics basically. Like who
mm-hmm,
will have reputations, and for example, stewards will have, let's say, 1,000 reputation point, and newcomer will have like 200 reputation point. So stewards will have some power to like lead, especially in the beginning of library, like how where to go, etc. So
mm-hmm,
I think that after that, when we have like parameters, people can start to
mm-hmm.
upload their creation, so we can vote and spend time on it.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe on that thing we can add some other layer, which for example like a special case, for example, designed by you for like combining three branches of crypto economics flower and make an like let's say, like special creation of the week or month to
Mm-hmm.
like align knowledge more into like more unitary thing. But
Mm-hmm.
like initially I thought like this, but if you have anything in your mind, please then like
So
if
my
you
learning is start off with something, and when you see the problems or potential pitfalls, like when we say steward versus newcomer, okay, power dynamics, usefulness of contribution, sure, people upvote, but then they buy votes. This is basically how you go. It's a good idea, but what could go wrong, right? Oh,
exactly.
good, what could go wrong, and then basically you start with it and see whether it goes wrong. And then basically before that, though, we just need to have a thing saying, okay, when we see it, the system is being gamed, we stop, we change, we improve, and we redeploy this small protocol that we have. What
Yeah.
I'm thinking is, I'm worried that the implementation um, could be, could or should be second iteration. And
Mhm.
first iteration,
Great library.
we gather data in a sense, like we gather data and we, I, I call it now process size, my favorite word of the month. So basically, this task list, right? We're coming up with something that we say, okay, kind of. But then once we have gone through the first seed curator and their experience, they're going to say, hey, this worked great. This is how you should do it. Make a list of top 5. Invite your top 5 people, top 5 created list. Invite the people that you think have contributed to that domain, or at the very least share your excitement, so that there is a group who's going to talk about that curation and why it's such a great thing, and then one can invite them or offer it to the token engineering community, saying, hey, tonight we're going to talk about this. And that host, right, then comes back and says, okay, it took me 1 month already to prepare this, and so on and so forth. What worked, what didn't work, and then basically the next curator will have an easier starting point, or it could be that the next creator is going to say, I'm super creative, I'm going to do it very differently. But through this whole process, we get it set up and think about all these mechanics that exist, and what we can actually what are the KPIs basically that we are looking for, is also actually
Yeah, make a
important. Like mm, quality of annotations, for example, right? Not just the list, but actually giving rationale for the pick
yeah, but
of. Mhm,
for
mhm,
example, we talked about the technocracy issue there. Like,
yeah.
for example, I really like the idea of reputation point because it's democratically like, for example, we talk
Mhm,
about a newcomer can create a creation about how to be a newcomer in crypto space. So
mhm,
so like for example, the reputation point will allow this creation to be very high, let's say compared to my academic political science
mhm,
crypto relationship creation. So I believe introducing with a
mhm.
reputation point will help our like contextual ethical understanding of like omega into library a lot. So I think it's kind of important. What do you think about it? Or do you think it's not at the beginning we can just skip it over?
No, I like it, and we should make it transparent. that there might, and we have already also noted it down. So I think that's definitely one point. And if I understand you right, you're basically saying, well, the way we actually distribute those reputation points is basically in the beginning we're just saying, okay, who's a newcomer and who's the steward, right?
Yeah, we
But
just.
then a
Sorry.
newcomer who has basically, let's say, because they're new, they have zero reputation point, but they are offering a very well curated list, and that goes that is upvoted through usefulness, and that can have a appropriate rating, right? So that basically this whole power dynamics is democratically balanced out.
Yeah, like for example, there's a little bit of in democratic side that we have seed creators first, and stewards will have some more effect initially. But we talked about it.
Mhm,
Maybe it is good for like settling the direction of the library at the beginning. Then after
mhm,
some point, everything will be equalized. Like every people
mhm,
will have like same,
mhm,
let's say 100 reputation point when they just enter the library and allocate it however they like.
mhm, mhm.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
I think we need like some sort of developer or something to how to integrate those things on Notion. Is it possible or not?
yeah. So that's why I said it should be second iteration. So the thing is with a developer, when we have the specification, that it's very easy, or when we have a clear specification, then it's much easier to implement than, for example, if we now look for a developer, they will be like, okay, what do you want me to develop? We're like, we don't know, we're figuring it out. Try this and that. So things like this, the first round, having just an Excel file because we're just a handful of people, and the issue is more on the other hand, actually starting creating uh, not swearing off the people who are actually motivated, right? Let them do their annotations, and well, the quality is better than nothing, right? And we here are really motivated people. I think that will work itself out. Like as you say, in the beginning, we're just really value aligned. We want this resource, we can provide, or at the very least, we can reach out to people who would be wonderful curators, and that's
Okay, I
fine.
agree.
And
I agree.
mm,
So let's reputation more point as like secondary important thing. Like
mhm. Well,
next,
we can do the specification um,
maybe we can
during
tell our
first.
like sorry, we can tell
Mhm.
our mentality in manifesto part. We can say
Exactly.
in the second
Mhm.
version of the T consonants library, we will have this,
Mhm.
but
Mhm.
this is the first version, so it will be like this, but we will improve it and make it even more like sophisticated and
Mhm.
better. Yeah,
Mhm.
I agree.
So okay, then for the KPIs, so quality, of course, that it's engaging. Mm. And the second part is um, yeah, consilience. I think that's important that we say, i.e., connects uh, two or more topics, no knowledge streams. Kind of. Would do you think it's enough?
Yeah, I think it's so, but I have a question. Like for
Mm-hmm.
uh, this KPI is for like for the second iteration as well, right? Because at the beginning, what's our mechanism to like implement those KPIs like metrics? Like who will decide?
Mm. Yeah.
I think it's also
So I think
iteration.
yeah. I think in the first iteration it will be, well, this is what we hope for, what we wish for, right? Um, and then so how to contribute. Let's go to write manifesto. Sorry, manifesto here.
Yeah, maybe we can say I totally agree with you. This is what we hope for. In the how to contribute part, we can say these are the things you should like keep in mind while you are
Mm-hmm.
contributing. And when we go to second iteration with the reputation points, it will be automized, like it will be guaranteed by
Exactly. Mm-hmm.
democratic mechanism. So this will be just our
Mm-hmm.
like manifest. Like we want to create a library like this. This is the first version. We have like very good seed creators you to explore these topics which are somehow underrepresented in crypto space. So we
Mm-hmm.
create this, but this library will be even more better with with all those mechanisms we have in mind, like reputation points,
Mm-hmm.
KPI,
Mm-hmm.
etc.
Mm-hmm.
And
Exactly. Like the
what about metagame?
mm-hmm. 1 second. Just so the overview, crypto economics foundations, then the rationale, what is consilience, or the rationale of consilience, and then why and or that's origin why, what is a library, living library with playground for creation, economics, and the how principles. Okay. Metagame.
So we want. I think they have Notion integration, right? Because presentation you sent me, it was
Mm-hmm.
mentioning Notion, but I don't know how it works. So maybe do you have contact with them? Like, do you know them?
Um, you had mentioned someone
Yeah, like
concretely.
I said, they knows them, like the guy in
Mm-hmm.
Prime DAO. Maybe I can
Mm-hmm.
talk with him, but since you got the like presentation, maybe I thought
Yeah,
you have
yeah,
closer
yeah. So
relationship. So
we can invite Peth, um, or basically through Peth, the maybe the guild leader or how they're called there. But basically, why do we want this meta? My meta. Number one, hoping that it helps basically, create a background. Then if we have any badges or any crypto economics implementation, that we can use that interface to show the reputation points
exactly.
and so on. Hmm.
Yeah, it will be awesome actually. Like if we can implement these things like properly, it will be one of the best library in the space because I haven't seen such example actually.
Okay. So mm, first of all, self-select from within tech and TE community. Steward, seed creators. Seed. Here we go. Let's call it seed creators too, right? Seed creators. Um, set up profile or start creation. Set up profile. So self-select from the community seed creators. Then invite. We should have one session. Invite, prepare night session with how to contribute. Like, so this depends on how to contribute. Do we have any? Oh. Anyways,
I will like do those things like proper.
thank you. So it's very powerful. We can have all sorts of connections here, but I'm not very fluent in it either. So
Yeah, but
self-select. So we should have one how to contribute first. We can do one with ourselves, saying, okay, everyone who wants to start be a seed creator with an Omega, let's have a session. First of all, go through the how to contribute.
yeah,
Then basically, how to set up my meta, how to set up my meta profile, and why. Link to reputation point, background, link to library. Question mark. So what we need is how to contribute done. This one needs basically intro to my meta session. Okay. So what we should have how to contribute first. Then the manifesto, right? Manifesto, how
yeah,
to contribute, and then we go to Pat and say, look, this is what we want to do, and this is what we think the curator profile should look like, and how to connect, and is this possible? Like some crypto economics fund. I know they have NFTs badges and stuff.
yeah.
So we could have a seed curator badge, definitely. Then whether it is linkable to Notion, and if not, where else? An option could be we do this in Notion, but it is
Yeah, if they say like you should do on this, we can try to do on that thing. Whatever.
or GitHub. The thing with GitHub is most people won't be fluent, and that will be a blockage. But I just remembered that there's an option to actually commit things with the tag of someone else. That you can say this was the contribution of someone else, like a co-author type of thing. So there might be hacks, but again,
Yeah,
it
we
could
will
be
learn.
also that. Yeah, it could be also that my meta, we just start with it, but all of these technicalities are not there yet, but they might be inclined to develop it together with us because why not? Notion integration seems to be useful.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
Especially now we are one. We want it. We
mhm,
yeah,
exactly.
super.
Because here also you can see people, for example, right? And if we have, imagine we have here the profiles of top curators like this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
like the icon NFT thing we click.
exactly.
It's open with a good animation, or it will be amazing.
Mhm, mhm. Good, good. So,
We are getting somewhere.
manifesto, then
Tasks. We may.
how to contribute. Wait a second. I think seed creators is the next we said.
Library
Driver
writing is
marketing.
like the last, I think. Or
Mm-hmm,
marketing.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Well, let's do it like this. Curators are incentivized and advised, incentivized to host sessions about their curated list with e.g. people, authors, interested of articles,
And also,
right? Then
we can
engage.
introduce bounties for the like top creators. But it will be second phase, right?
Yeah, I mean here the first during our whatever we do, any session we do that has some insight, we could basically use it to promote the work that is going into this library.
Yeah.
Icons is good start here for someone who's visiting the library, or what do you think there?
Yeah, it is like when you just visit library, you can like see what it is all about. Like it's like manifesto, but abstract of manifesto. You can just
Mm-hmm,
skim it. Then like it will like may may forward you to appropriate page you like to learn. For example, if you like to contact somebody, it's there. If you like to know how to contribute, it's there. Or like it's basically a starting page talking
mm-hmm,
about like guiding people how to find their ways in this library,
mm-hmm,
like make them
mm-hmm.
not like lost,
Get
feel
lost
lost.
there.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And then also become contributors. Mm-hmm,
Yeah, for example, if
mm-hmm.
you like to become a contributor, go there. If you like to become a creator, go there, kind of thing, right?
Yeah, that can be in parallel. Mm, in parallel, yeah. After we did these two, um, then that can be in parallel, and basically write manifesto. And how to contribute. I'm thinking structure or scaffold according to have you seen how these things could be connected? For example,
Mm.
so for example, we say, hey, you basically get extra extra points if you can present articles that combine
Yeah, exactly.
many things. And how do we link it then? For example, let's say, and it's a good example, like the Crypto Economics Foundations paper, right? Let's say I add an annotation to it.
Mhm.
Where would I put that paper? Because I would put it in the middle. So let's see. I'm thinking like, could we have maybe a
Like buttons there.
mm,
I
or
don't know.
maybe a sign that we say, okay, this is how you indicate where this article belongs to. Like you pick a color or pick multiple colors or something like this.
Mm.
But for example, if I would add this here, then I would add an annotation. Why do I pick this? And consilience score would be colorful
Yeah,
or
right.
all colors.
Yeah, I really like that idea, to be honest.
or something like this.
Yeah, like
And when you Mhm.
yeah, but I don't know how to like play those things on Notion. Is it possible? Like, I think Notion is kind of limited in that sense. Like, maybe we should create
Mhm.
like website or so, but it will be much harder. Like, we need more people, etc. So, for example, if
Mm.
there's like a button, etc., in Notion, it will be good.
Mhm.
Maybe we can like under before top creators, we can just open pages called,
Mhm.
let's say, like political science, ethics, AI. Then you will click. But then if we think, if the creator think it is like linked to both things, he can fork this creation
Yeah.
both things. It's possible. Yeah, it's possible in Notion. I know.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah,
It
but
should be right. So basically, um, it should be possible because it's really like a database. The
yeah.
structuring, it should be possible when I click on this paper, right, and I see the site of I see the site my annotation.
Mhm.
It would be like this card, right? I see this annotation and I see where it belongs to. But then I can also pick, let's say, political science. Then I see this, and inside I see all of the articles or papers or books that have been tagged political science. But
Yeah.
I will tag this article political science,
And to
all of the
yourself,
above,
yeah, yeah,
kind of.
that works, I believe. Yeah,
Hmm.
perfect, perfect.
So kind of two-way navigation, um, created item, um, see which petals it's tagged with, or petal, see all curated items that are tagged with this petal label. That should be sufficient
Yeah, I guess so.
label. And then we have curator pages, curator, curators, um, which curated items, which petals. If you should be struggling with finding something off the shelf, do ping me. I'm interested in figuring this out.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah,
So if you don't find anything off the shelf, then ping me and I'll search, and then we can get together
yeah,
one,
okay,
one
perfect.
more.
Thanks so much. Thanks so much.
So shall we to the
So now,
structure scaffold? Um, will you go for it? And you can basically pick
we
me whenever
yeah,
you need.
yeah,
Okay.
that's good.